Welcome to the Neuromasters Podcast, the place to reinvent yourself, master your mind, and change your life. Internationally recognized speaker, coach, and trainer Reg Malhotra will teach you tools to improve your mindset, change your behaviors, and let your relationships thrive. Are you ready to unlock the power of your mind? Here's your host, Reg.
Everybody's allowed to have a vision. Is that all right? Everybody, because if you don't have a vision, you perish. You got to have something to strive for. Now, what you do then is you take 3 to 4 main outcomes that will lead to that. This is called chunking down now. That thinking, people, if you focus only on this, let's go to page. Now we're already going into that topic anyway, so it's a perfect entry into that. I'm going to teach you also a process today called deep love strategy, but I'm going to ask you and warn you right now, be careful with that. When you ask those questions of anybody, please do not have them look straight into your eyes because they will fall in love with you. Do not get cheeky with it. This is an ecological issue. So we're going to cover that today. How would you like to be able to learn that? Oh, keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. My question, why? Why? All right, be careful with that. Just don't have someone look. All we look is just have him looking. You can have him at 45-degree angle if it's a client. Because if you're looking straight at each other when you ask those questions, it automatically, you get neurologically linked to that. It's real. And if you do this with someone outside of their awareness, and that's a huge ecological and karma issue. It's not illegal. Nobody can stop us. It's just linguistics. You got to be at 45 degrees. If you look at it straight if you're in their line of sight while they answer the questions, then they can actually develop a deep love towards you. That's how real this stuff is. So let's look at motivation strategies 59. I'll talk about strategies in a moment, but let me tell you what happens when we are trying to get motivated towards something. This might answer some of your questions, those who don't see progress. Number 1, this is called typical problem in how people get motivated. The more typical issues. So begins with overwhelm. A lot of people begin with the overwhelming point of view. They begin with overwhelm. What that means is they begin with a feeling of overwhelm. Means this is your North Star, I want to speak in front of millions of people. They're only focusing on that. Eventually, that's too overwhelming. It's only the vision is only chunking too high. You're too high chunk. What does it say? You need to chunk down. Let's underline that. Need to chunk down. Okay? You're chunking too high. Now, I'm not saying don't have a dream, don't have a vision, but a lot of people talk to me like this all the time. Hey man, I'm just going to be changing millions of lives and I'm going to be in these big stages and okay, what's your next step? I don't know. You get stuck over there. Yeah, the second one is the person only moves away. Means so say you want to get rich, say you want to have millions of dollars. Firstly, millions of dollars while you're earning $5,000 a month may sound really good, but it can overwhelm you to the point you take no action. The second problem is they are moving away from not being broke. They're only saying, I don't want to be broke, I don't want to be broke, I don't want to be broke. That's what the point means. Instead of saying, hey, I want to be rich. That's why I gave you that line. Thank God I'm rich. Make sure you have that on your phones, in the background. And if someone sees it and says, oh, what's that? You're weird. Say, thank you. Next one, it says model operative necessity. Model operative necessity means like, oh, I have to do this. I need to do this. It's only necessity. Like, it's not like, hey, I can do this. This is what I can create. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a little insight on that. We'll come to that in a second. But let's have a look at this process. So you got the North Star. You got to have 3 to 4 major pillars under that. What are the 3 or 4 major pillars? If I'm building a boat, my vision is to build a boat, right? I'm going to have, I've got to learn. I've got to watch a number of YouTube videos and I'm going to learn how to do it. Or I got to get this skill set, go to a course. Number 2, I've got to buy the materials. Right? And number 3s, there could be something else, right? Get permit or something like that. Now, I've got to have my 3 or 4 big pillars. Then the chunking down begins. If you work in sales or if you work in a particular role and your goal is to be the number 1 sales leader, you want to have the highest number of sales, for example, then you'll say, well, what do I need to do? I need to polish up my skill set. I need to, listen to recorded calls, or I need to, so you got the 3 big pillars, and then you need to chunk them down. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Every day you wake up. So you can sit there and wait for NLP to do some magic for you now that you leave this training and go, oh yeah, now I've done NLP. Now everything will just come on my lap. I got news for you. You have the right neurology now. You have the right energy now. You have some things that were stopping you that won't be there anymore. But you've got to have action in the physical world. Something has to move, whether it's in a relationship. If your goal is to have the ideal partner, who was it? William or somebody like that, who was saying, I want my ideal partner, my wife, my lifelong partner. That's up here. What does he, she feel like, look like, sound like? Put it on your timeline. Now that's done. Now you've also got to think, what are the 3? Number 1, I have to, for example, meet new people. Without meeting people, you're not going to find a partner. Number 2, I've got to, go on dates and evaluate. What do you think? This person magically going to appear, fall from the sky, William? You got to move towards it. You may have other way. I'm just using an example. You may be already doing something. 3rd one. What's another 3rd major pillar we could have? Identify. When we do that in the relationship training, what your ideal partner, what are the qualities that are non-negotiables for you? What are the must-haves and what are the negotiables? You must know your must-haves. Means without, so if for example, if you said my partner cannot be a smoker, well, that's a non-negotiable for you. If you say this must not be a smoker, it's non-negotiable. It's a deal killer, straight up. Just saying. Now, you've done those 3, the main pillars. If you do those 3 things, it's going to lead you to a life partner. There's no question in my mind about it. Then what you got to do every day you wake up, now you can apply it in business, you can apply it in whatever project goal you have. Now you got to wake up every day. One action, one action, one action. One action, one action, one action. Every single day. If you're waiting for the fairies to come out and do those actions for you, it's not going to happen. So it's that just focusing on the process. Hey, a question for you is, that may look like a pie in the sky right now. Can you do this? Can you wake up every day, and doesn't matter how small, medium, or big these are, can you knock off 1, 2, 3, connected to each pillar? If you can do that, you can have that. Now, in order to be able to do that, of course, if you have negative thoughts, negative emotions, limiting decisions, blah, 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 conflicting parts, you can see how we bring this together now? Those things are like driving with the handbrake on. Some of you need a bit of ass kicking for that. Fair enough. I needed it. Somebody to hold you accountable. Somebody to ask you why you didn't do it. Somebody motivating you, inspiring you, and a community of people who are getting the results, and you go, boom, if they can do it, I can do it. And that's how it works. Then you have no choice but to succeed. You just don't. Because human being is a goal-seeking mechanism by default. Life is not a pursuit of happiness. It is the pursuit in life that is happiness. Not because you're lacking it, not because you're chasing it. It's because it is us waking up every day knowing that I am going after something is what brings us alive. Salespeople know it. And if you've not done any of this, one of the things you may want to do is find someone you align with, their product service, and go and offer them to work in sales for them. Learn the skill set. Because that is one of the greatest disciplines. That's the highest motivating. Every single leader in transformation, Tony Robbins, you name it, everything, was a salesperson to start with. Why is that? Because all of your shit comes up daily. People will reject you. They won't buy from you. Brandon knows what I'm talking about. Brandon works in sales. Your spiritual growth happens. That's one way to do it. Another way is to do it in business. Another way to do it is go after your other area goal. This stuff, this education, guys, can you see this education is imperative? How can I come out of school and then even with a life partner, you're supposed to just go to a bar and just have a partner and just figure it out. Okay, if you're going to do it, like that's the most important person in your life. You're going to be seeing their face every day. Might as well take a structured approach. If you can do it. Now, there's a lot of people who are not willing to do this. I can't help you. Maybe you just need to, then you need to come into a program like MVP. And, MVP is different. Like you're going to get your ass kicked with love. And you have no choice but to get the results. Plus you get the healing transformation. Plus when you bump into your ceilings, your upper limits, your barriers, we're there like a rock just to heal you and continue make sure that you overcome that, because life is a journey of healing.
Thank you for tuning in today. Are you ready to take the next step and find out what's keeping you from reaching your goals and creating the life you want? Go to go.neuromastersacademy.com/GS-LP for a free transformational mini workshop with Reg. See you next week.